Number 30. You happy to come home? Well, what the hell do you think? But the truth is, some are okay with coming home and some wish they were still over there. So it all depends on the situation. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's complicated. It depends on how they had to leave. If they had to leave because they were injured or something like that, they want to be there with their normal buddies and help save their lives. That's what that camaraderie is about. And sometimes they miss the excitement. So that's a hard question to really ask, because if they tell you that they wish they were still over there, you look at them like they lost their damn minds. But in reality, they might have struggled with coming home. That's why they like to hang out with their military buddies and the VSOs and stuff, because that camaraderie, because that's one of the things that we miss when we get out. Social media has made it a lot easier to keep in touch with the comrades, but that can be a double-edged sword because they're constantly reminded of some of the crap that went on while they were over there. One of the biggest things with social media nowadays is they can see their brothers and sisters struggling that they were in combat with. And I don't know how many times I've talked to my clients about they finding out that they lost someone through Facebook, from suicide, of course. So it's just one of those things. It's a struggle. So there's a lot that goes on over there that civilians really struggle with, understanding. I've actually been told by some folks that they feel it's safer over there. At least they know where the enemy is, which is a kind of a horrible thing to say, but it's the reality. They don't feel like they're going to fit in society again, so they feel comfortable over there. They feel like it's an uphill battle once they return, because now they have trouble finding jobs and getting their life back together, and especially if they got something like TBI or PTSD, then that really becomes an issue. One of the things, too, that we don't really remember is they might have gotten the Dear John letter and Jody came visiting while they were gone. So it's one of those things that it's kind of a double-edged sword, like I said before, It might sound like an easy question, but really it's more complicated than you really realize. Number 29. I hear all women are sexually assaulted or harassed in the military. Will you? I don't even know where the hell to start with this. Yes, women actually get asked this question. I've heard multiple times, different variations of it, but pretty much it's the same thing. Men aren't asked this question, even though men are sexually assaulted or harassed also. So why would you choose to bring this up to women, and ask them to expose their weakest moments and their trauma? Why the hell would you do that? Do you go up and ask women that you run into, were you sexually assaulted? A lot of women are sexually assaulted. They're not just in the military. So why would you ask military women that question? The reality is anybody who would ask this question probably would ask a civilian because they were that curious or that stupid or whatever. Just a few things here. It's like in 2018, 20,500 service members were reported being sexually assaulted or raped. This included 13,000 women and 7,500 men. My guess is the actual number's a lot higher than that, but no one really talks about it because it's one of those things that you just don't talk about, especially to civilians. As you can see, reported sexual assault is almost half, where women represent only 18% of the military members. These numbers don't represent those that were coerced, not reported, or sexually harassed. And the problem is all of this is a part of the military culture. So just don't ask that question. It's really none of your damn business. Number 28. What is the worst thing that happened to you over there? Please don't ask this question. Don't ask them to relive the worst day of their lives. And a lot of times it's just insane for somebody to actually ask this question, and people freaking do. If you're close enough to somebody, you might get an answer from them, but unless you really know that person, that's really not a good question to ask. It's stupid and inappropriate. There are so many things that can go wrong in war. Part of it's losing a friend and feeling it's your fault. Losing that friend, and then you have to deal with them committing suicide when they come home, and you feel like you missed something, then you could have prevented their suicide. So there's a lot that can happen. Part of it could be that you had to shoot a child or a woman to protect yourself in your unit. That's a moral injury thing. Again, this all depends on how much you know them and their perspective. But why would you ask a veteran in general to relive something just because of your curiosity or you just want to know? My take on this is, if they start to trust you and they want you to know, they'll tell you. And just leave it at that, okay? Number 27. Don't say you had a PTSD moment. PTSD moments are reserved to those who actually have PTSD, and they're probably not going to say it out loud if they have one. And by saying that, what you're doing is you're discounting their disability and making fun of people with PTSD. It's bad enough to have symptoms of PTSD, but having to listen to someone flippantly make a comment like that's pretty damn disrespectful. Folks with PTSD struggle daily in a ton of aspects of their life. What you're doing by that is you're making fun of them. So that's really not something you should say. Number 26. I know what it's like to go to war. No, you don't. Unless you've been there in a discussion. Yes, people actually make that comment. Oh, I know what it's like to go to war. No, you don't. Unless you've been there. Did I say that right? No, you don't unless you've been there.
Disclaimer, I'm a licensed mental health therapist in California. If you're searching for mental health help, please reach out to someone in your state. If you are within California, you can reach me at the email below. And if you're interested in coaching anywhere in the United States, you can reach out below also. These videos are for educational purposes only, and if you're thinking about suicide, please reach out and call 911.